This is a course on storytelling as a healing influence. And it's based on ideas that are pretty profound in psychology. One is known as the dyad, and the other is known as transcendent function. Dyad and transcendence are two very primal functions in the soul. Dyad is the beginning of the neurological development of an infant. Once an infant is born, they are then taking in the sense impressions around them that come primarily between them and the mother or them and the father. That is then soul to soul. That's the basis of what this course is about. Why is it soul to soul? It's because the infant and the parent are interacting in a nonverbal way. Touch, eye contact, body language, tone of voice, things like that. That's the level of the communication. And at that level, birth to 3-year-old, that is forming neurological, psychological, and immunological patterns in the organism. Now, the quality of the interaction in those first 3 years builds what are known as primitive neural cortices in the brain. And they have to do with flight. Do I run away from this interaction? Flight. Do I fight against it? Freeze. Do I just stop because I have no idea what's going on? Or appease. Do I appease the element in the dyad that I'm working with? Those reactions are nonverbal. Now, the interesting thing about it is for the rest of our life, when we encounter another soul in a one-to-one, it's flight, fight, freeze, or appease as the basic ground of the neurological, psychological, and immunological responses that are going on in the body. Storytelling in the proper way heals any problems that were encountered in the first 3 years of life, because it brings in the second function known as transcendence. Transcendence is a term that Carl Jung used to describe the need for the soul to be able to encounter the dyad response and transcend it. At every stage in life, when we go into a new level of consciousness, we have to apply transcendence to somehow soothe and modify the dyad response. So I can give you a simple example. A 10-year-old boy is still in dyad when he encounters a girl. So she's, whatever, girls. But by the time that little boy is 15, he's transcended that dyad response and is very interested in what makes girls tick. By the time they're 25, they've had another transcendence where they have to collaborate with the girl and cooperate. For instance, there are many, many scenarios about that, but that's how that little boy has to overcome a kind of girls are not me to, oh my goodness, I have to make a connection here. That's dyad and transcendence. Now in storytelling, that dyad transcendence oscillation between my initial response and then I have to overcome it, that is the basis of what is traditionally known as a storyline. So up in this diagram here, this is a mandala of what is known as a storyline. The storyline has 4 parts. The first part is the narrative. And in the narrative, we are asked the questions who, what, and where. That's only the beginning. The storyline has to go through a pinch. And the pinch is, well, then what happened? Tell me a story. And that's a pinch, because the pinch is changing the narrative. It means that the person that's in the story is not going to get what their opinion or fixed belief was. So if you look down at the bottom here, there's a mandala that says what's happening in the storyline is also happening in the soul. So during the narrative, what is happening in the soul is my opinion is being reinforced by my own fixed belief. But then life comes in and changes the nature of the narrative for the soul. The storyline moves to the pinch and says, okay, this is your fixed belief, but now life is going to come in and change that. That's then what? And then it gets a little more difficult, a little more of a pinch. It's created a crisis. The crisis is an unforeseen challenge resulting from a pinch. And the unforeseen challenges threatens or challenges the fixed belief or the opinion that started the narrative. We have the narrative, pinch, crisis, and then it's sometimes called the resolve, or it's sometimes called the lesson, or it's sometimes called the takeaway. This kind of thing is the basis for what we're going to be dealing with in the course. We're going to use this and as part of what is a toolbar. So this is the storyline mandala of the toolbar. But there is another tool in the toolbar, and that's this right here. This is called a character arc that follows the storyline. It's a kind of a dynamic of how the character is responding to the storyline. And the way the bar works there, that narrative pinch, crisis, takeaway, is that the center line is a neutral position for a character. But I'm going to share with you a little nursery rhyme. This is Simple Simon and the Pieman. The pieman is an interaction between two people. So in Simple Simon, you can make a character arc that kind of looks like this. Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. So that's the narrative. And in that narrative, if we look at the character arc, the pieman is the green line and Simple Simon is the red line. So Simple Simon and the pieman in the narrative, they meet, and the pieman looks at Simple Simon and his character line gets better. It goes up. Why? Because he thinks he's going to get a sale. And Simon's character line goes up in the same way because he thinks he's going to get a pie. So Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. And in that storyline, the character arc for both of them arises from a neutral position and they're getting better. But then comes the pinch. And Simple Simon met a pieman going to the fair. Simple Simon said to the pieman, "Can I taste your ware?" It's a pinch because both of them have to experience a change in their narrative. And for Simon, he's expecting to get a piece of pie, so his narrative's getting better. And the pieman's expecting to have even a sale, so his narrative is getting better. So at the end of the pinch, both of them are kind of up there at the top of getting better. But then said the pieman to Simple Simon, "Each will cost a penny." It's only a crisis for Simple Simon. For the pieman, the crisis goes up, he's like, wow, I'm going to get a penny. And Simple Simon is like, wait a minute, huh? So if we have who, where, what for narrative, then what for pinch, under crisis, we could put, huh? Or we could put, what? Because in the crisis, the opinion is reversed. So Simple Simon in the crisis, his red line goes down because he realizes a penny. And then in the takeaway, said Simon to the pieman, but you know, I don't have any. So Simple Simon went all the way from getting better to down in the trenches, getting really bad. And the pieman went down to neutral because he lost his sale. So hopefully you can see that you can do some amazing little things with a character arc that is following a storyline through narrative pinch, crisis, and resolve. It's a way for a storyteller to look at the dynamic between two souls interacting in a dyad context that requires transcendence. So the mandala of the storyline and the bar there of the character arc are two tools that we will be using through the whole series for participants to learn how to parse out a story in terms of the storyline and its effect on the relationship between dyad and healing a dyad through transcendence. So I hope you join us for the rest of the series because it'll be a lot of fun.